Thank you. Thank you, Vince. I mentioned to Vince when he walked in today, I remember when he used to be John Kaskowski's, I call him Gopher. I don't know how many years ago that was, but that's back when Western Golf Association ran the Western Open, which it's really sad that it really went away. I thought that was one of the greatest events of all time, especially for Chicago. Sam Snead was a personal friend of mine for many, many years. And in '98, when we held a centennial party at the Palmer House, the Western Golf Association had asked Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer a few years if they would be guest speakers. 3 months before the party, they called and said they had other commitments, they couldn't make it. And Don Johnson at the time gave me a call, I was in Florida, and he said, "Jerry, I know you know Sam very well. Would you ask if he would come to Chicago for our centennial party?" And I said, "Absolutely, give me 10 minutes, I'll get right back to you." I called Sam, and before I even asked him, what I wanted to ask him, because it was about the Western Golf Association, he replied back to me, he said, "Jerry, whatever happened to the Western Open?" He says, "That was the greatest event that we all played in for years and years and years. It traveled around the country, and he said, we never missed it. And the professionals at that point in time always looked at the Western Open as the fifth major. And it's really too bad that it's gone, because I think that's really affected Chicago golf a lot, because I think if the Western Open would have remained in Chicago, I think we could have grown it into something very, very special and made it that fifth major, which I think we could have made happen. But anyway, that's all history. Those are things I think we can continue to work on. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I just want to thank everybody for being part of Rich Harvest Farms today. To give you a little bit of background, I built the golf course over 10 years. I always had an interest in golf course design. My dad wanted to be an engineer, me to be an engineer. I wanted to be a geologist or do something with agronomy. And my major at NIU was math and physics, and my minor was in earth science. They didn't have engineering, they didn't have agronomy, so I kept him very happy. And I went on to help him out in business for 25 or 30 years because he needed help, and that was probably the right decision. But I finally had the opportunity back in the middle 80s to purchase a piece of property which is made up of 1,800 acres. And in doing that, I talked to my wife and I said, this is my opportunity to design my first golf hole, which I've always wanted to do. I grew up as a caddy at Butterfield Country Club, and I remember doodling on the back of scorecards. I just fell in love with the way green complexes were put together and the bunkering and what have you. And I don't know why as a kid, but I just had an interest in it. So we started, and I designed my first 6 holes, which led to 3 more after a year or two, because I got a little bored of playing 3 6s, so I thought it'd be more fun playing 2 9s to have 18 holes. Then I added a 10th hole and an 11th hole. And I remember telling my wife, I said, gee whiz, we only need 7 more to complete it. So after 10 years, we completed the golf course. And I always kept in mind in the design of the golf course that I wanted to be absolutely sure that when you play the golf course, you could never tell which were the original 6 holes, 9 holes, 10th hole, or 11th hole. And over the past 15 years, I've had at least 200 Golf Digest panelists and other panelists from various magazines out. And I always play with every one of them. And when we get on the first hole, I said, when we get all done, name the 6 original or the 6 or the 9 original holes. And since 1998, since we've completed, nobody has gotten it right yet. So your challenge today, if you've never played here before, and I know there's going to be a little cheating because some of you have played here before, and I've clued you in. But if you've never played here before, use that as a challenge and determine whether you can tell me what the original 6 or the original 9 holes were. And since nobody's been able to do it, that gave me acceptance that I did it right. So anyway, it's been very special. I've had a lot of fun. We're deeply involved here at Rich Harvest with kids golf. We have our Kids Golf Foundation, which brings golf to all the inner cities in the state of Illinois. We have approximately 100 coordinators, all volunteer. We train them here at Rich Harvest during the winter time in our indoor arena, which is an 18,000 square foot arena, and they come up and then they go back to their communities, and then our foundation funds everything 100%, from the golf clubs that they would get to all of the special information that the coordinators need to conduct their clinics. Our foundation funds all of that. So if you're going to ask me what was the most important thing in Rich Harvest Farms, it's not the card collection, which I've had a lot of fun putting together over 55 years. It's really not the golf course. It's really what we do to put clubs in kids' hands throughout the state of Illinois. And when you meet with these kids, and most of them are inner city kids, and we teach them the life skills of the importance of staying in school and staying off of drugs, and teach them some of the rules of the game. If we can help one child from the streets of Chicago, we feel we've done our job. But I can tell you, we've done a lot more than one. And I commend our foundation for doing the job that they do. And the Western Golf Association, the tremendous job that they've done over the years with the Evans Scholarship Foundation. And our kids, when I started and I had 18 holes, I made it a pact that I was going to have a membership, and the membership, we also would have a caddy program. So ever since I've had a membership, we've had a caddy program, and we've got today over 150 kids that are in our program. And one of the things that we make that's very important to these kids is they've got to learn the etiquette that's involved in being a caddy. And I found out one of the most important things, believe it or not, is the jumpsuit that they wear and the green hat that they wear. And many days over the last 10 years where it was 110 degrees outside, I went out and I bought shorts, Bermuda shorts for the kids, and I bought t-shirts, and I told them they can wear those if they'd like. And not one of them would take their jumpsuit off. They said, "Mr. Rich, we're not taking our jumpsuit off." They're so proud to be a caddy here, and the things that they've learned over the years, that this is what it's all about. And I thank Western Golf for all of that, because this is what the Evans Scholarship Foundation is all about. We're very happy to be part of all of that. So thank you for that. The girls are going to drop off a folder to everybody before lunch. It has a nice brochure about our Kids Golf Foundation in there. It tells a little bit of the history of Rich Harvest Farms. And then also, I think most of you know it, that we've got the International Crown here, which is an LPGA event. I fell in love with the LPGA back in 2002, and we had a very successful Solheim Cup here. And after that success, I got a hold of the commissioner, Michael Wan, and I says, "Michael, we have to put a new tournament together for the LPGA." And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "In women's golf, the best players in the world are not like the Ryder Cup from Europe or America. In women's golf, the best players in the world are from Asia. And we've got to create a new event." And now that brings in 7 other countries in the world. They have to qualify for that. But it gave us an opportunity in the city of Chicago to activate all of the ethnic groups, because it's unbelievable. I never knew there were over 100,000 Koreans that live in the Chicagoland area. I never knew that there were over 100-some-odd-thousand Chinese people that live in the city of Chicago, or Swedish people, or Taiwanese, or Thailand, or Japanese, or people from Sweden. So we've been activating all of those various ethnic groups, and when the tournament comes here in 2016, I guarantee you, there will not be just 30,000 Americans. There will be everybody cheering for their particular country. And that's what Chicago is all about, and that's what we're very excited about bringing to our great city. So thank you very much. Have fun today.